And it's recording.
Okay.
Okay, hey guys, welcome to Conversations with Cora. And y'all know it's me, Cora Lee, and this is my mom.
Hi, how you doing?
This person responsible for all this goodness over here. So, I have been home for a couple of days, just visiting, hanging out, and I kind of forced her into it to do a conversation with me. So, I think we should talk about none other than mother-daughter relationships. I sometimes hear people talk about how they don't have good relationships with their mom. So so I don't think I've shared this story with my people, right? But I had my daughter at 15, my oldest child at 15 years old. So I would say that we definitely have enough experience in mother-daughter relationships to have this conversation.
Okay.
Would you say so?
Okay.
I will say that when I was a kid, I didn't think my mom liked me. I thought...
Really?
I absolutely thought...
You're the only girl.
I know, but I didn't feel like I thought my oldest brother was like the most perfect child in the whole wide world, and my brother under me was the one that was your baby, and then I had a baby brother. So I just thought that you were like, where'd this girl come from? And as a mom of a boy and a girl, there is whoever says there's not a difference in your kids, they're definitely, thank you. There's a difference in your kids. So as a kid, I don't know if I really suffered like middle child syndrome really badly, but I was like, she doesn't like me. I played sports with my brothers, but I wasn't like the athlete, right? So I think I tried to do things with the boys because, that's what I had around.
But for any mother out there, that you always, if you have more than one child, you always have a different relationship with each child.
Yes, I agree with that.
And each child has different needs. Like you said, Junior was the oldest, and so he was...
Hey, Junior, since Mom shouting out names.
He was always trying to be perfect, and then...
And to us, he was.
No,
I don't know if he thought he was,
but he had that need to
we'll have that conversation with him
sometime. And you were the only girl. So you were actually the princess of the group.
I don't feel like I was the princess of the group.
And then, like you say, for me, Alan was my baby. And so each child, you related differently. I think any mother... some kids have more problems than others, but I think the important thing is to show them that they can get through it no matter what the problem is.
So tell me what it was like to parent little Cora Lee as a... okay, well, they don't know the story of how I came into this world, obviously, that, I was born early and that I had jaundice, and they thought that the doctor told you, hey, if you don't have this surgery, y'all gonna both die. So, people don't know that, we just miracle people over here.
Miracle people, yes.
I've never heard this from her perspective.
But because I think, and to back up, before LaCora was born, there was a daughter, and that daughter died from SIDS. She was 6 weeks. So for me, I had my girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she was precocious.
She's talking about me.
Yeah, I'm talking about you. She was precocious.
I was like, how do you know somebody's precocious at 6 weeks?
She never met a stranger. She always had a friend. She would tell you, this is my best friend. And I said, you just met him.
That's funny.
But that's her personality. She doesn't meet a stranger. And she pretty much wanted to mark her own trail. And so...
Wow.
Yeah. She wanted to... Yeah, you did.
That's crazy.
And she didn't take stuff off people, but she couldn't fight at first.
She said at first, people. Please don't get that twisted. She said at first. That was 5, 6 years old. So I wouldn't fight. I remember
she wouldn't fight.
My brothers being like, you need to learn how to fight. And I was like, no, we should all love each other. And then I don't know what happened.
Somebody, I think your dad put you out there. Oh, CPS. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think. Didn't he tell you couldn't come back into your phone?
Maybe. I don't know. I just know there was a boy and his sister and the brother was the same age as my older brother. And
I think he said you started it. You were out there running your mouth.
I don't know. No, that was a different one. she boxed and she tagged me good. But no, this one was like a sibling group. It was ended up being like a wrestling match or something in the playground. I don't know, but okay.
But no, I mean, I think it was no different than any other struggle you have with kids.
Okay.
I don't think it was.
Do you think that you touched on something, and I'm trying to tread over it very softly, but for any mom who's, I guess that would consider me the rainbow baby, because what they talk about now is that when you have a baby or you lose a child and then you have the next child behind them, they're the rainbow baby.
Okay.
So, you already had a girl and that girl passed away. Do you think at any point in my growings that you ever, like, did that come to your mind? Did you think about those things? Did that make it any kind of difficult to, like, be happy you got this little girl, but you also lost one?
No, I was just happy to have a girl, because I can remember, I can remember, and I told you the other day that when she died, and your dad got sick that time, and I went to a movie theater, and I just started screaming. I couldn't stop screaming. That was before you.
Like, sounds like me.
I started screaming, and I had to see a psychiatrist for I had a couple of visits.
Yeah.
Because it was difficult. But for me, if I saw, and it sounds pitiful now, if I saw somebody with a little girl, I would just have this yearning.
Yeah.
I just wanted my little girl. And so when you were born, it was like,
finally,
I got a little girl.
And then she was like,
she's a handful, but I got a little girl. So no, I do I think about her? Yeah, I think about her occasionally. But no, it's not the sadness there that was there.
That was once there.
Mm-hmm.
So once I became a teenager, because we know that, obviously I was precocious and all that great stuff. Then I became a teenager.
Yeah.
What was teenage years like with this one? How do you, I guess what I'm getting to is, for the moms out there who are either struggling with that relationship, and I wish shout out to my daughter, because we have a really great bond, and I feel like that's just something that has been kind of passed down. But how do you, when your kids are not doing what you feel like or know they should be doing is best for them, they're not doing that. How do you?
Because you have to realize that just as you have a life, that child has their own life, and they have to plot their course, and you're there to guide them. But sometimes they don't take your advice. Yeah,
but that, I mean, gosh, that's a scary thought, to parents. Like, but I don't know. I guess for me, as much strife, and trust me, she said it's the truth. I was an absolute handful. So as much as we had our struggles, I feel like as I've gotten older, like we get closer and closer. I don't think there's, besides being just modest because it's my mama, there's not many things I can't say to this lady. Like, I could just come to her and be like, I'm feeling nutso, and I just need to stay at your house for a couple days. I don't need anything. Then she gonna buy me ice cream, and she gonna make my favorite foods, and we go get our nails done. We do, did you see us being that way when I was the teenager rebellious child? Like, did you wonder if I was going to ever get it together, or, you know what I'm saying?
I think if you're honest, you do wonder if they're ever going to get it together. But again, it's their life. Mm-hmm. Your job is to guide and try to instill, the right, and I go back to the Bible, train up a child, and hopefully give them skills, because sometimes I guess people, I know for me, sometimes you don't learn until you go through it on your own.
Yeah.
No matter how much people tell you.
This one here.
No,
and
me
all
too.
About, like,
and me too. Sometimes you
hard-headed.
You don't until you experience it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so, hey.
That's what happens.
Your job as a parent is just to be there, and sometimes when you're training them to walk, sometimes they fall.
Oh,
nugget!
Y'all know where I get that from now. The nuggets over here.
Sometimes they fall.
That's a good point, because I think sometimes we get caught up on, they're not making the right decisions, so you get frustrated. And I think some parents even, end up like kind of turning away from their kids. Now, guys, again, I say it in every one. I'm not a licensed clinical social worker. I'm not a therapist, psychiatrist. And so if you need some of that type of guidance, again, I know plenty and I can set you up with somebody, you and your children up with somebody to talk to. But I think I see sometimes, relationships get severed. Parent-child relationships get severed because the child doesn't make the decision that the parent feels like is most appropriate. And don't get me wrong, I think if you're talking about a child who is, using substances and, well, you tell me, if you had a child who was a substance abuser, is there, or something, that's what I threw out there, but it could be anything. Is there something that your child could do that would cause you to be like, no, absolutely not?
Now, it might cause me to say, you can't live with me.
Okay.
You can't rob people and live with me. You can't, no, you can't, like you say, abuse substances
and stay in my house.
Okay. Because my dream isn't necessarily your dream.
Yeah.
My path isn't your path.
Yeah.
If that's the path that you choose, that's where we draw that line.
Yeah. But that love.
But my love for you, and that's like God gives us, my love for you, that when you get ready to get yourself together,
I'm gonna be right here.
I'm here.
She's so good.
Y'all
see where I get this
I'm here.
So, if you had to give the ladies out there, mother daughters, any kind of advice, what would you say to them about growing a healthy relationship with your daughter? Let's say they've got young daughters and they're trying to get to where we are now, seasoned. We're not old, so we're seasoned individuals over here.
Like I say, their dream isn't your dream.
Mm-hmm.
You have a dream in your mind when they're born for them. But your path isn't their path.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when you moved to Virginia Beach.
Oh,
I did not want that to happen.
Oh my gosh!
In my mind, that was not the right decision.
Yes, and she told me that. You had no problems telling me that.
Our friend, no, that was not. But in the end, maybe it was the right decision because you blossomed.
Oh.
But
and actually, I moved to Norfolk. Shout out to Norfolk, because never mind.
But that's what I would say, and don't panic.
And I think that gave me the ability to then say to Jazz, go. When my daughter, she moved last year.
Yes.
And she moved to another state, and she was really like, should I do it? And I said, go, do it all, do whatever. You always got a place to come back to. So I think even that for me gave me the ability to do that for her. So,
and let them fly. They might fall. Let them fly. Like I said, the illegal stuff now. But
you're doing something illegal.
But
it doesn't stop you from loving them.
From loving them.
Right. You might not condone what they're doing.
Right.
And that's even illegal stuff. Like, I think your kids can do stuff and you're like, even down to clothes that they pick, you might not like what they want to wear. Now, mind you, little young ladies, stay covered up. Don't use that statement. Don't go and say, Cora said we could be half naked and you as the mama supposed to let us live our... No, that's
and
not
if you work and earn your money, you still can't wear what you want to wear in my house.
Ooh. Y'all heard that, didn't
you?
So there need to be some boundaries.
Yes, because that's
rules,
part of my gearing you and teaching you that, what did the lady say? If you show everything that's in the present, he don't need to get the present.
He don't need
already
to
got the present.
I'm joining on. I'm just... Well, so basically give your kids the freedom, the space to grow and learn and make some choices of their own. But have some boundaries and some rules around, what you do tolerate, accept as far as in your household.
And don't feel bad if that's what you tell them.
Don't feel bad. Stick to your boundaries.
Right, because some people feel guilty. Oh, they mad at me. Well, they'll get over it.
They will. They do. I don't think... people have asked me, have you and your mom ever been in like a real argument where like y'all didn't... I don't remember that. Do you?
I think we disagree because I
definitely disagree.
And it's like, okay, well then, okay, well they need some help. All right, I'll go.
Yeah,
I can't
stop speaking.
I can't imagine us ever being at a point where if you call me, I wouldn't pick up the phone.
That's so sweet. That's why I love that. Because
I might fuss at you once I pick up the phone, but I would pick up the phone.
You're not going to fuss at me when you pick up the phone. You're going to fuss at me after you help. And then you be like, well, because you should have. And I feel like this is what she looks like on the other end of the phone. well, you should have just listened to me anyway, because if you had listened to me, and I'd be like, okay. So, yeah, I agree with that. Well, guys, we've held y'all 15 minutes. I don't know if this is going to spark some conversations with you and your daughters, but if it does, feel free to drop your comment below. Y'all know what to do. Or you can email me at conversationswithcora, all one word, at gmail.com and keep the conversation going. And Mom, thank you for hanging out
You're
with
welcome.
me and conversing with Cora. Conversations with Cora. See you guys next time. Bye. Let's see if this will turn off.